I think, yeah, I would consider it a form of exploitation because there's not consent that's been given to share the photos. So I would consider it a form of exploitation. Yes.
I hope you can all hear me. Sometimes it's children sharing images of each other um, in schools. So it has many different components, and many things that are you've all given ideas. I also want to hear, what's that young man's name, the one who doesn't speak? Alan. I want to also hear him make one or two recommendations. How can we deal with this kind of, within Africa, within an African context? How can we deal with this? Not just at schools, but what can the governments do? What can private sector, Facebook, Google, all that, what do? What can civil society do? So, Fode, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Nena, for taking us to Oxia. Yeah, which is very, very critical. And as we all know, most of us here were born in the internet generation, the technology generation, and we are growing with it. And of course, it's becoming more dangerous every day as it advances. I'm sure we've all given so many issues around Oxia and how they are affecting us as children in our schools, in our communities, and where we are. So it is very important as well, because we are here to not just say out our problems. We're here to also make sure we contribute in co-creating the solutions that we want to see. Okay? Now it's recommendation time. I don't know everything. I'm not everything, but together we can make sure we have tangible solutions and recommendations that we can make sure we give to the African Union and its partners that are working on Oxia. So, anyone with a recommendation? Okay, Samuel.
Hey everyone. I don't have a recommendation, but I would like to raise this concern. And then you guys, you also forge solutions to address it. So I was reached out by a child, and he told me that in the internet, like, you find that someone approaches you, maybe your friend, and tells you that you send your nude pictures, you say, and then you get paid 10,000 Kenya shillings. That happens in Kenya. So I don't know if it happens in other countries. So I would like, even when you address Oxia, I don't know if it's part of Oxia, but you also forge solutions on that and make it equitable and sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope, Mr. Joshua, I hope you're taking notes.
One recommendation to the UN would be working or partnering with all the online platforms that are being used by mostly children, and trying to find a solution to the issue of online child exploitation, trying to find ways in which we can report and end the child online exploitation.
Thank you very much. From what I get from Michelle is that even the search engines that we use today, like Google and Yahoo and the rest of them, should also make sure they regulate it so that children don't have access to the dark web. That's a very good recommendation. Anyone else? Okay.
So to the one that Mrs. Nana suggested about in school when they're distributing pornographic or nudes of it, like your classmates. I believe that schools don't ever think about that situation until it happens. So I think they should think about it. They should speak with students about it, because I've seen it happen a lot, and it happened in my sister's school, and they just swept it under the carpet. They didn't even discuss it in assembly or anything. So it should be penalized. There should be a well-known penalty for it.
Thank you very much. This comes with policies, legislations, and bylaws to make sure we regulate Oxia issues.
Good after lunch. Good afternoon. So for me, like, I'll just for those children, let's say not every child has a phone, but we have those children who have phones. Now it's like, if they are cyberbullied, and why is it that, like, during these meetings we are the only ones who are called, and in our schools we also have many other people who have phones, but they also need to like get to know about this. So I was like recommending for the like those people organizing the meetings, when they organize the meetings, we'll have like the list of those people who are coming, so that when we are coming, not only us, because let's say for me, I've had many trainings on Oxia and all that. But now, what about those other my friends? They need to get to know about this training. Now, I was just recommending that when you organize these meetings, you don't call the same people every day. Call other people also.
Thank you so much. That has to do with capacity building for children. It is very crucial because a lot of children don't know what Oxia is. I'm sure even some of us that are here only heard about Oxia today. So capacity building, AU and Child Fund and the other partners, please take note.
I feel like, except partnering with social media platforms, we should also educate children on why it's important to respect their bodies. We shouldn't just tell them, oh, don't send nudes. We should tell them why they shouldn't send nudes and the impacts that will come if they send nudes. Because it's through that it will be more impactful, and they may, accept our views.
Thank you so much. Educating ourselves and children. Somebody again.
Okay, I'd like to add on my colleague what he said on capacity building initiatives. Most of the governments of Africa can introduce like in the curriculum.
Mr. Joshua is going to be doing a presentation on Oxia, which is like a capacity building for us here. But Mr. Joshua, quickly, I want you to intervene quickly on something. Child Fund has been implementing things and creating initiative towards Oxia. I'm sure the technical expertise, this is something that Child Fund is having. So from what you've experienced on your implementations and what you've been doing, what do you think are your challenges as an organization in making sure that you reach out to as much children as possible to protect them from Oxia? And then, of course, what do you think you can recommend to us as children to be doing?
Thank you very much for that. Child Fund, we have been implementing initiatives around Oxia for quite a while, and I am glad my colleague from Kenya, Julius, is seated there, and she will be moderating the session after this. I know she will say something about it. But some of the challenges, I think there's ignorance about the people who should be taking responsibility. You find they're not aware about the dangers of Oxia. That is number one. The number two, including the children themselves, you find because parents are not aware, decision makers are not aware, you find they're also not aware the dangers the internet presents to them, and yet they're spending a big part of their time on the internet. And I remember when we were in Lesotho, even children there were saying they access bad content on the phones of their parents. So like me, we're in these groups of peers, even a parent, like myself, I am a parent, but when I am with my colleagues, we were together in primary sharing information which is just appropriate for us. When I go home, I will give my daughter to use, and then she will have access to this content which was not meant for her. So when one of the children say, please let's advise our parents to remove bad content from the phones. And the parents are doing so because they're not aware at all the danger their phones and gadgets present. The number two, when it comes to things like holiday, like now it is a school holiday in Kenya, I am at work, my other wife and people will be at work, and then we have internet at home. So do we really know what children are watching? The gaming platforms which are becoming common, where peers will be joining and they'll be getting access to content which is not appropriate. Then another issue is about research. You find research is not, as much as some organizations have done significant research, I think we still need to do more on how best we can protect our children from harm. When we have sufficient research, even getting money, like convincing partners and donors for them to give us money, becomes easier. Again, I know like Meta and other platforms have ways where you can report bad content, but again, how many people are aware about this? So if there was this partnership for internet service providers and other tech providers and other tech companies, how we can be able to spot and identify. Then I think technology is moving faster than the way we are moving to respond to it. Even with AI, I think if you're not careful, AI can generate bad content, send information and other things faster than we have been able to adapt AI to prevent this bad content. So I think we need to move faster for us to assure this. I think by you standing, it means time. So I hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua. Earlier this morning I said my favorite statement is, speak with adults, not everything is found on Google. See what Mr. Joshua has given to us is stepping stone to what children has been doing and the challenges they've been facing as an organization in ending or in minimizing OXIA.
Okay, thank you. So for Alan, I doesn't have much on this topic, but according to what I've tried to interpret for him, he has something interesting to talk about. So the picture that he will walk around to show you, he was shocked to see his own picture when he was a child back in 2015. It's online. So Alan is trying to say that the government should have some child data protection to protect the rights of child, because that is his picture that was, didn't know how it went online. So he's trying to say that the government should try to enhance child data
photo, but he found it online. So the picture is only back in 2015, but he doesn't know how it went viral. I think because of the blue eyes. Or it was posted on Twitter by an account called Kenyan Pics. Yeah, I think it was being used because of his size. Yes, blue, natural blue eyes. For me? No.
What would you recommend? What would you recommend against this kind of thing?
Alan is just recommending for the government to enhance child data protection to those people like him who doesn't have a say to, in order to have consent for such photos to go online.
the photo was taken in class back in 20.
Thank you so much. It's very unfortunate for Alan to go through such a situation, but this is what
to get this and this and this. I think it's an upcoming challenge because it's a trend I've been seeing. I was looking at the root causes of this data bias thing, like what happens there. Someone probably saw that picture of Alan and he was like, this is an opportunity for me to market what we do. And that is very wrong, especially without consent. So I feel like it's a challenge that we as African children should start looking at, because when we are moving out of Africa, when we're getting into these platforms, we are faced by this bias that instead of focusing on child participation, we should be looking at droughts and hunger, because we have more important issues to deal with. Yeah. Someone says, "Oh, the illuminate thing." Oh, yeah. That's another issue we'll talk about a bit later. But yes, that was my challenge. Data, or rather, misrepresentation of our image as African children, or as just Africans in general. That should be something we should be looking at. Thank you.
Okay, so you speak of an young man here. Just what we have to close up just now, so the chart there's like because there are 45 minutes. Chart fund, when you're presenting, please can you address what Brian said? Because we have a similar thing at the AU to some extent, but not so much on children, but on the children perspective. When we're talking about it's going to be UNICEF, Child Fund World Vision. When we're talking about
how African parents and other parents all around the world engage with their children, I've seen a lot of occasions whereby in the same family or at the same time, whereas in the same family at a certain time, like people do not respect them and people will be on their phones most of the times, and this makes children think that the internet and the phone is the only way to live, and that's when they try to find a way to pass boredom from the internet, and they actually get exposed to a lot of things with that much time that they spend. Whereas when we go back in time, maybe we do not want to do away with traditional practices, all of them, because some were healthy. Back in the days, we had a lot of time to engage with our families and go to the internet to find satisfaction, so to say, from the internet, to escape from the reality of boredom, because we do not feel the warmth and the love in our own homes, and we want to feel it at what do you call this, at the internet or the Google. The second one is also about the